This is not what a distillery is supposed to look like. There are no stainless steel pipes or racks of barrels here. This is more like Willy Wonka's factory or a twisted Disneyland, and that's quite deliberate. Moving through it involves a trip through a tropical jungle and on a wooden raft that floats on the plant's cooling water tank.
So when we design new spirits, we design them with the idea in mind of engineering a sort of place in our imagination where we would want this thing to come from. And so when we built the distillery, we really wanted to create environments for each of the different spirits where you can go to that imaginary place in our mind and then sit down and have a drink in the place we envisioned it coming from.
Lost Spirits Distillery is the latest trend in boutique booze making. This place is geared up as an experience. But they also create oak-aged rum and peated whiskey, but in an entirely new way. After a float down the river, red lanterns come up to reveal a whole new space hidden. These are fermentation tanks, but really they're also works of art.
The five of us built everything you're looking at from scratch. We hammered the stills out of sheet copper. We hammered all the fermenting tanks out of sheet copper and soldered everything together. We sculpted the dragon heads.
So out of the jungle and into the light. This is where some of the science happens. This is the reactor room. So the freshly distilled alcohol comes in here, it's inside this glass tube, and then floated inside that are little pieces of wood. They're actually offcuts from making barrels. You can just about see one of them there floating inside. And then the whole thing is blasted with this really bright, really high energy light. And that helps break down the wood in a really accelerated way. So instead of the booze having to sit inside a barrel for 2 decades, bits of barrel sit inside the booze, and they release some of those flavor compounds in just 2 days.
People have been trying to speed up that aging process for 100 years. These guys were awarded a patent for this successful process, because the team here are inventors when it comes to alcohol. They're constantly trying to find novel ways to make new spirits taste like ancient ones, infusing peat flavors or artificially accelerating the aging process.
So in the lab, we're working on all kinds of new, different, interesting products that A, have never been done before, and B, probably couldn't be done by anyone else.
Once visitors see all of this, it's back on the boat and down to the island of Dr. Moreau for a taste of the peated scotches. And then through the jungle again, running from headhunters, and finally...
Enchanted gift shop, enchanted gift shop, come on in, come on in.
Complete with talking birds, where hopefully you've been persuaded by your experience and the copious tastings to take some lost spirits home with you.
Good whiskey, good whiskey.